Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode on the Audi TT. So yes, hello everyone, today we're going to try and get everything back together in the engine bay. I have a new Banjo Bolt for the turbo oil line, so I can now get that all put together, and then I can now put everything else back together on the engine and hopefully give it its first start. So let's get cracking. So first things first, Banjo Bolt. So this is what a Banjo Bolt looks like. It's hollow in the centre with holes around the outside, so when you screw it up, oil can go through the hole in the middle and then out of the little holes there into the pipe. Like I said last time, somebody had just fitted a normal bolt, but you can see just down there the access is actually pretty good still for me to fit this in place, so that's what I'm going to do now. Right, so finally with that Banjo Bolt in place, all the turbo lines are now actually running to the turbo. So the turbo now has a source of oil and coolant and also a way of returning both. However, what I want to do next is, as you can see, the engine is a little bit of a mess. So what I've got is some gunk engine degreaser. I've put it in a spray bottle. I'm just going to give it all a quick spray over. I'm going to let it set for a little bit, and then I have a steam cleaner, which I'm then just going to go over and hopefully give it all a good steam clean and then wipe it off with some blue roll. That way hopefully it should be nice and clean, ready for all the other bits and pieces to be reassembled. Right, so with the engine now looking a lot cleaner and a lot nicer to work on, I want to start putting bits and pieces back on. So here's the original PVC breather system which bolts to the top of the oil cooler. As you can see, proper manky, really nasty. Here's the new section of that bit. So I'm going to get that fitted now, and then we can concentrate on other bits and pieces. Right, next I would like to get the inlet manifold on. I have a nice new shiny gasket for it here. I've also given this a bit of a scrub, best I can. It was caped in oil. So let's lay the gasket in place first. Get it all around eventually. There we go. I'll pop this in place. Right, now I just need to bolt that up. As you'll notice, the engine is now pretty much back together. There's a few little bits I need to get under that side and re-bolt up. There is the pipe that shoots down there and goes to the intercooler. I need to bolt all that together, so I need to jack that side up and get that connected. Other than that, we're pretty much there. Right, with the intercooler pipe work now done, I just need to install some Jubilee clips to the other various hoses that I've already put on, but I put on loosely. However, what I have done is a big schoolboy error and forgot to fit the auxiliary belt. So I need to try and fit that now with all this gubbins in the way. It would have been a lot easier, a lot earlier, but oh well, we'll crack on and do that next. Right, so with that intercooler pipe and the auxiliary belt now in place, I can add the wheel arch liner to the wheel arch, then I can put the wheel back on and bolt this side all back up, and then concentrate on the few little bits we've got left on the engine bay. Right, before I install the air box, I'm going to install a new air filter, so that is one of the service items ticked off the list. Right, so with the engine nearing completion, I would like to start to fill it up with some fluids, but what I'm going to do first is put a new oil filter on, then I'll fill it up with oil. I'm going to fill up the coolant with water, only because I want to get this up to temperature a couple of times and drain it each time, filling it up with fresh water, try and get rid of as much of that K-seal rubbish that's still left in the system. I've got some G12 pre-mixed coolant, so once I've given it a couple of flushes with just clear water, I will then fill it up with the G12. But first of all, let's get the oil filter on and get it filled up with oil. Right, so the engine is now officially back together. However, sadly, I'm going to have to let the battery charge overnight because it's only down to 12.2 volts. And I know full well that there is no fuel in the car. So I'm going to have to go get some petrol for it tomorrow and put it in, and then hopefully we can give it its first start. Right, well, today's a new day. The battery's been on charge overnight. It's now got a full charge. It's good as new. I've also put some fuel in because I know full well this has nothing in the tank. So I only got a jerry can and filled it with fuel. So there's nothing left to do but start it. I'm really, really nervous. I'm hoping I haven't just been wasting my time on this engine. Let's find out. She runs. I'm so over the moon. It means that all my hard work and finding all those horrendous bits and pieces in the engine bay has actually paid off. Sounds really good. It sounds a little bit loud at the minute because the downpipe isn't connected to the turbo. So I really need a ramp for that because I couldn't quite get my arms around the back with everything in place, even without the head on. So I really need to ask LRP rather nicely if I can borrow their ramp. So join me in the next one when hopefully we get a few things finished off. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.